I'll keep the intro short, really short. So in this one, we'll be talking about exactly what the title suggests: the 12 greatest martial arts TV shows, live action and otherwise. So you'll find stuff like Cobra Kai and Avatar, but also stuff like Black Dynamite, which is a super fun blaxploitation animated show about martial artists. So without further ado, let's get straight to the list. But before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
My nickels!
Cobra Kai, Netflix. 34 years after his defeat by Daniel LaRusso in the 1984 All-Valley Karate Tournament, Johnny Lawrence is a broken man. Struggling with alcoholism and depression, he lives in a modest apartment in Reseda, Los Angeles, far from his once privileged life in Encino. Working part-time as a handyman, he has a strained relationship with his estranged son Robbie, whom he has neglected. Meanwhile, Daniel has become a successful car dealership owner, married to Amanda, and they have 2 children, Samantha and Anthony. Despite his professional success, Daniel finds it challenging to connect with his kids, especially after the loss of his mentor, Mr. Miyagi. One day, Johnny uses karate to defend his teenage neighbor, Miguel Diaz, from bullies. Inspired by the experience, he agrees to teach Miguel and decides to reopen the Cobra Kai dojo. The revived dojo attracts a group of bullied outcasts who gain confidence under Johnny's tough but caring guidance. However, the return of Cobra Kai reignites his old rivalry with Daniel. In response, Daniel opens the Miyagi-Do dojo to teach karate with a focus on balance and honor. His students include his daughter Sam and, unexpectedly, Johnny's son Robbie, who seeks a father figure and a path away from his troubled life. This leads to a new rivalry, not just between Johnny and Daniel, but also between their students. Complications arise with the return of John Kreese, the original co-founder of Cobra Kai, whose manipulative tactics start to influence the students negatively. Later, Terry Silver, another founder with his own dark agenda, makes an appearance, escalating tensions further. As rivalries deepen and alliances shift, both Johnny and Daniel must confront their past mistakes and learn to work together. Season 5 of Cobra Kai shows the series at its finest, despite a few rough edges. This installment delivers big laughs and thrilling fights, while subtly hinting at future developments without feeling like mere setup. Creators Josh Heald, John Hurwitz, and Hayden Schlossberg have achieved the remarkable by maintaining the show's high quality as it nears its conclusion, and these guys prove that Cobra Kai truly never dies. Furthermore, shifting focus from teenage drama to adult dynamics enriches the show, its story, and the overall feel. The chemistry between Ralph Macchio and William Zabka is exceptional, especially in later episodes, which I dare say makes their on-screen relationship one of the best on television. Thomas Ian Griffith elevates Terry Silver into an even more menacing villain, surpassing previous antagonists. Martin Kove's portrayal of John Kreese reveals a more vulnerable side, adding depth to his character and impacting the series profoundly. So yeah, Cobra Kai is one of the best martial arts shows out there, and that's the reason it has also found the top spot in this list. Although I must remind you, this is not a ranking. Daredevil. In the first season of Daredevil, we follow Matt Murdock, a lawyer who was blinded as a child but gained heightened senses. By night, he becomes the vigilante Daredevil, fighting crime in New York City's Hell's Kitchen. He uncovers a criminal conspiracy led by Wilson Fisk, known as the Kingpin. As he delves deeper, he learns that Fisk is connected to Nobuo Yoshioka, a high-ranking Yakuza member involved with a mysterious cult called the Hand. One of the best episodes that highlights Daredevil's martial arts quotient is the one titled Speak of the Devil, which features Daredevil's intense battle with Nobu. This fight is significant because it's the first time Daredevil faces an opponent who truly challenges him. Unlike his earlier encounters, where he overcomes foes with skill and determination, Nobu matches him blow for blow. Wielding a Kyoketsu shogi, a blade attached to a chain, Nobu inflicts severe wounds on Daredevil, pushing him to his limits. The fight's intensity is amplified by the absence of background noise. Only the sounds of their breathing and strikes are heard. This choice immerses viewers in the experience, simulating Daredevil's heightened senses. The confrontation takes a dire turn when Daredevil barely escapes death by tricking Nobu into setting himself on fire. However, his victory is short-lived as Fisk arrives and nearly beats him to death. This battle has far-reaching consequences for the series and future Marvel shows on Netflix. Nobu returns in the second season, revealing that the Hand possesses the ability to resurrect their members, making them even more formidable. The Hand is shown to be in a clandestine war with the Chaste, an organization that includes Daredevil's mentor Stick and his former lover Elektra Natchios. Elektra is unveiled as the Black Sky, a prophesized leader the Hand seeks to control. The fight with Nobu sets the stage for these developments and pronounces the escalating threats Daredevil faces. It also underscores the physical and emotional toll of his vigilantism. The Hand's resurrection powers and their pursuit of Elektra lead to significant events in The Defenders, where Daredevil joins forces with Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist to combat the shared menace. While the Hand is portrayed as a major threat, some critics feel they didn't fully realize their potential, especially given conflicting portrayals in Iron Fist. Nevertheless, the showdown between Daredevil and Nobu remains a pivotal moment in the series. It showcases the high stakes and complex challenges that define Daredevil's journey, reinforcing why the character and the show resonate with audiences.
With my friends.
Avatar: The Last Airbender, Netflix. The series is about a war-torn world where certain individuals can control one of the four classical elements: water, earth, fire, or air. Aang, the Avatar and the Last Airbender, serves as the bridge between the mortal and spirit realms. Unlike others, he can master all four elements. After being frozen for a century following the genocide of his people, Aang awakes to find the Fire Nation aggressively seeking world domination. With the help of his new friends Katara and Sokka, he embarks on a quest to master the elements and restore balance, all while being pursued by Zuko, the exiled prince of the Fire Nation, determined to reclaim his honor by capturing the Avatar. In Netflix's live-action adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender, stunt coordinator Jeff Arrow used modern technology to teach the young cast the art of bending and combat. Traditionally, each nation's bending style is based on a specific Chinese martial art: Tai Chi for waterbending, Bagua for airbending, Northern Shaolin Kung Fu for firebending, and Hung Gar Kung Fu for earthbending. Arrow began training the actors remotely via Zoom and provided instructional videos that introduced them to the basics of their respective bending disciplines. His approach aimed to empower the actors, which allowed them to internalize the movements and contribute to their characters' fighting styles. By understanding the fundamental techniques, the cast could offer feedback and make informed choices that reflected their characters' journeys. As the story progresses and the characters travel, their fighting styles evolve, and they incorporate elements from different cultures and regions they encounter. To create authentic and character-driven fight scenes, Arrow employed pre-visualization techniques. This method enabled collaborative development of choreography, integrating insights from actors and directors. For important battles, such as the duel between Firelord Ozai and Prince Zook, previs was essential in crafting detailed and emotionally resonant sequences. Both actors, being skilled martial artists, played a significant role in shaping their on-screen confrontation. Arrow also focused on non-bending characters like Sokka and Suki, the leader of the Kyoshi warriors. He developed unique fighting styles for them and drew from martial arts like Aikido to reflect their use of weapons and defensive techniques. Incorporating Japanese influences for the Kyoshi warriors added depth and authenticity to their portrayal. Throughout the series, Arrow was mindful of keeping the fight choreography meaningful and true to the world of Avatar. He avoided excessive flashiness and chose movements that served the story and character development. Subtle physical cues and Easter eggs were embedded in the fight sequences to hint at future character arcs, such as Zuko's inner turmoil influencing his combat style. Arrow hopes viewers will notice these details and that the series will continue to explore the rich evolution of its characters. Kung Fu, 1972-75. Kung Fu is a television series set in the mid-19th century that followed the journey of Kwai Chang Caine, played by David Carradine. Born to an American father, Thomas Henry Caine, and a Chinese mother, Kwai Lin, Caine becomes orphaned and is raised in a Shaolin monastery in China. There, he trains to become a Shaolin priest and masters the art of martial arts. In the pilot episode, Caine's mentor, Master Po, is murdered by the Emperor's nephew using a firearm. In a moment of vengeance and self-defense, Caine kills the nephew, unaware that he was reloading to attack again. Branded as a fugitive with a price on his head, Caine flees to the western United States, aiming to reconnect with his family roots and find his half-brother, Danny Caine. The series is set approximately between 1871 and 1875, grounding the story in a historical context. Throughout his travels in America, Caine strives to keep a low profile to avoid capture. However, his Shaolin training and strong sense of social responsibility often compel him to intervene in unjust situations, defending the vulnerable and fighting for justice. Each act of bravery forces him to move on to protect both himself and those he aids. During his quest, he encounters his grandfather, adding depth to his personal journey. The show was met with critical acclaim upon its release. Critics praised its originality and the suspenseful unpredictability of its plot, and back then, it was a breath of fresh air compared to the traditional Western narratives. One critic highlighted that such a series would have been unlikely a decade earlier, as audiences might not have been receptive to a story centered around Chinese characters. The show was also seen as a progressive step in giving proper recognition to diverse histories. Bruce Lee had a significant, albeit uncredited, involvement in the development of Kung Fu. According to his widow, Linda Lee Cadwell, Lee conceived the idea of a series featuring a Shaolin priest traversing America and became deeply involved after being approached by Warner Brothers. He contributed numerous ideas that were incorporated into the show. Despite his efforts, Lee faced challenges in securing the lead role, partly due to racial biases of the time. In a 1971 interview, Lee mentioned his concept for a show called The Warrior, which closely resembled Kung Fu, but he struggled to pitch it to major studios. The series intertwines martial arts with philosophical teachings and draws heavily from Taoist principles and the cultivation of spiritual energy known as Qi. Caine's character is one that embodies the harmony between physical mastery and spiritual enlightenment, and shows how lifelong training and adherence to moral principles can lead to serenity even amidst conflict, which pretty much holds true for everyone in any age. Wouldn't you agree? Come on! Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation. Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation introduces a new dynamic to the familiar story of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles by adding a fifth member, a female turtle named Venus de Milo. Found by the Chinese shinobi master Chung I after being separated from the other turtles in the sewers of New York City, Venus brings a different set of skills and perspectives to the team. Unlike her male counterparts, she's trained in the mystical arts of shinobi and focuses on spiritual techniques and the manipulation of Qi energy. Her abilities include disappearing from enemies and using magic, which both intrigues and slightly irritates the other turtles, as they're unaccustomed to such powers. The series begins with Splinter becoming trapped in the Dream Realm during meditation. Chung I warns him that the Dream Realm is destabilizing due to the Dragon Lord's attempts to enter the real world. He sends Venus to New York to assist. Upon arrival, she meets the turtles, and after an encounter with the Foot Clan, Michelangelo names her Venus de Milo, inspired by a statue's head she carries. Together, they confront the Foot Clan, and Venus uses her shinobi magic to neutralize Shredder's evil influence, effectively disbanding the clan. However, the victory is short-lived, as the Dragon Lord and his minions, known as the Rank, manage to cross into the real world from the Dream Realm. The Dragon Lord aims to hunt down the turtles to consume their mutant powers. He sends his underling Wick and other rank dragons to gather ingredients for an invincibility serum. Failing to collect enough, they attempt to obtain exotic bones from the Bronx Zoo. The turtles intercept this plan, and through teamwork, they thwart the Dragon Lord's efforts. In a subsequent encounter, the rank dragons, now equipped with doses of the supposed invincibility serum, engage the turtles again at the zoo. Donatello discovers that the serum is merely a placebo, which leads to the Rank's retreat once they realize their advantage advantage is non-existent. The series departs from traditional elements by quickly sidelining classic villain Shredder to make way for the Dragon Lord, who lacks the intimidating nature of his predecessor. Absent are fan-favorite characters like April O'Neil and Casey Jones, which may disappoint longtime followers. The show's production style is reminiscent of Power Rangers, sharing the same producer, Saban, and features similar action sequences and costumed characters. While the acting can be stiff and the dialogue filled with cliched one-liners during fights, the performers display impressive stunt work within the cumbersome turtle suits. The inclusion of Venus aims to attract a broader audience, particularly young girls, and the series addresses potential concerns about relationships between the turtles by clarifying they are not biologically related. Overall, Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation offers a fun, albeit cheesy, addition to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise. It may not deliver a high-budget or groundbreaking experience, but it does provide entertainment through its action-packed episodes. Samurai Jack, 2001-17. Samurai Jack follows the epic journey of a young prince from feudal Japan. His father, the emperor, received a magical sword from the gods Ra, Rama, and Odin. This enchanted katana was used to defeat and imprison the evil shape-shifting demon Aku. 8 years later, Aku escapes, seizes control of the hand, and captures the emperor. Before this happens, the prince's mother sends him away to train around the world so that he can one day return and defeat Aku. The prince grows into a skilled samurai, mastering various forms of combat taught by teachers worldwide. Upon his return, he confronts Aku and nearly defeats him. However, just before delivering the final blow, Aku casts a time-traveling curse and sends the samurai into a distant future where Aku's power is absolute. In this strange world, the samurai is called Jack by the locals, a name he adopts. Jack finds himself in a dystopian, retro-futuristic Earth ruled by Aku. The world is inhabited by a vast array of beings, including robots, aliens, talking animals, monsters, magical creatures, and deities. Some places boast advanced technology like flying cars, while others resemble ancient or industrial times. Aku has brought aliens to Earth after destroying their home planets, and the world is filled with criminals and fugitives. Despite the widespread influence of Aku, there are still untouched natural areas like forests, jungles, and mountains. Some communities, such as Shaolin monks, remain largely unaffected by his reign. Throughout his quest, Jack aims to find a way back to his own time to defeat Aku and restore peace. He faces numerous challenges and adversaries, often coming close to success or peril, only to have unexpected events alter his path. Jack's abilities are exceptional. As a master martial artist, he's been trained in various fighting styles, including Shaolin Praying Mantis, Tiger and Eagle Claw, Greek Wrestling, Southern Fist, Sun Fist, Wushu, Wing Chun, and African Stick Fighting. He can learn to use unfamiliar weapons by observing others and adapt their techniques to his own. He's also a weapon master, skilled with spears, staffs, nunchucks, shurikens, and more. After spending 50 years in the future, he adapts to modern technology and uses firearms, rides a motorcycle, and wields a retractable pole arm and combat knives. Jack's signature skill is his masterful swordsmanship with his magical katana. His fighting style emphasizes speed and precision, combined with strong defensive techniques. Few opponents can match his prowess with the sword. Notable adversaries include the Scotsman, Mad Jack, the Ninja, the sword-wielding Ultra Robot, and the Guardian, who once defeated him. One of his trademark moves is the tremendous horse cut, where he leaps into the air and delivers a powerful downward slash to break through defenses. Into the Badlands, 2015-19. Set approximately 500 years in the future, Into the Badlands depicts a world where war has devastated civilization. While remnants of technology like electricity and vehicles remain, firearms have been abandoned in favor of melee weapons and crossbows. In this post-apocalyptic setting, a feudal society has arisen in a region known as the Badlands, which spans several states between the Rocky Mountains and the Mississippi River. The Badlands are are controlled by powerful barons who monopolize resources such as opium and fuel, trading among themselves to maintain a tenuous peace. Each baron is served by slaves called cogs, and a class of prostitutes known as dolls. Their power is enforced by armies of clippers, highly trained warriors forbidden to marry or have children to ensure their absolute loyalty. Clippers are led by regents who command these formidable forces. Outside the baron's hierarchy, various groups exist. Nomads, often bandits, prey on trade convoys, while some live in organized clans. The River King controls water trade routes and remains neutral in the baron's power struggles. The Totemists are an ascetic religious group practicing idol worship in isolated communities. The Widow, a revolutionary leader from her late husband's barony, challenges the feudal system. Although acknowledged as a baron by others, she is neither respected nor respectful toward her peers. Into the Badlands is a thrilling series for fans of martial arts and action. Daniel Wu stars as Sunny, a brooding and conflicted assassin who is the most skilled clipper in the Badlands. His portrayal marks a significant milestone for Asian American men on television, joining actors like Steven Yeun and Daniel Dae Kim as prominent figures breaking stereotypes. Sunny is depicted without cliched traits. He's an Asian character with no accent, whose ethnicity is not the focal point, but an integral part of a diverse world. The show evokes the atmosphere of The Walking Dead and the Mad Max franchise with its depiction of a bleak and violent future. It brings the martial arts stereotype full circle by embedding it into the fabric of this dystopian society, moving beyond racial cliches. Unlike earlier shows like Kung Fu from the 1970s, which starred a white actor in a martial arts role, Into the Badlands has a more authentic representation. Daniel Wu, born in Berkeley and raised in California, is no stranger to the martial arts genre. Despite not speaking Cantonese when he began his career, he became a prominent actor in Hong Kong cinema and starred in numerous martial arts films. Arrow, CW. Arrow is about the transformation of Oliver Queen, a billionaire playboy who returns to Starling City after being stranded on the island of Lian-Yu for 5 years. Upon his return, Oliver becomes a vigilante archer aiming to cleanse his city of crime and corruption. In the first season, Oliver adopts the alias The Hood and targets those listed in his late father's notebook, seeking justice for his family's misdeeds. He is assisted by John Diggle, his bodyguard, and Felicity Smoke, a skilled IT expert. Together, they uncover The Undertaking, a plot led by Malcolm Merlin to destroy a poor area of the city known as the Glades. Flashbacks reveal Oliver's early struggles in Lian-Yu, where he meets allies like Slade Wilson and faces various adversaries. The second season introduces new challenges as Oliver vows not to kill after the death of his friend Tommy Merlin. Operating as the Arrow, he confronts Slade Wilson, who arrives in Starling City seeking revenge. Oliver grapples with his dual life as a vigilante and the CEO of Queen Consolidated. Sarah Lance returns as the Cannery, and the government agency Argus, led by Amanda Waller, becomes involved. Flashbacks continue to explore Oliver's time on the island and his complicated relationship with Slade. In the third season, Oliver deals with personal losses, including Sarah's murder and losing his company to Ray Palmer. He becomes entangled in a conflict with Ra's al Ghul to protect his sister Thea. Laura Lance steps into her sister's role as the new Black Canary. Flashbacks shift to Oliver's time in Hong Kong, where he works with Waller to prevent the release of a deadly pathogen. In later seasons, Oliver forms a new team of vigilantes, faces threats from enemies like Prometheus and Ricardo Diaz, and navigates personal challenges such as fatherhood and imprisonment. Arrow is acclaimed for its intense action scenes and realistic fight choreography. Unlike other superhero shows that rely heavily on special effects, Arrow emphasizes hand-to-hand combat and martial arts. Stephen Amell, portraying Oliver, underwent extensive training with fight coordinator James Bamford. Bamford introduced him to Filipino martial arts like Eskrima and Kali, focusing on swift and rhythmic movements rather than traditional fight sequences. This approach contributed to the show's engaging and dynamic action.
America isn't a place to live a long life.
Warrior 2019. Warrior is an exceptional television series that combines a stellar cast, vivid settings, and high-octane action to create a binge-worthy experience filled with drama and excitement. The show, which initially premiered on Cinemax in 2019, faced cancellation after 2 seasons but was later picked up by Max for a 3rd season. Despite its critical acclaim, it was dropped again. Now, all 3 seasons are available on Netflix. Fans are eager for continuation, especially given the unresolved storylines and characters left in peril at the end of Season 3. Set in the post-Civil War era during the railroad boom, Warrior focuses on the Tong Wars of 1870s San Francisco. The narrative delves into the turbulent lives of Chinese immigrant gangs battling over territory, opium, brothels, and wealth. The influx of Chinese laborers willing to work for low wages creates tension with the Irish working class, many of whom are unemployed. This racial powder keg is further complicated by corrupt politicians exploiting the chaos for personal gain and a police force, predominantly Irish, struggling to maintain order. The story centers on Ah Sam, a highly skilled martial artist from China portrayed by Andrew Koji. Arriving in San Francisco in search of his sister, Mei Ling, played by Diane Doan, he quickly becomes entangled with one of Chinatown's most powerful tongs, the Hop Wei. He discovers that Mei Ling is now a leader of the Hop Wei's rival gang, the Long Zi, and harbors resentment towards him due to past conflicts. Their strained relationship is intensified by their opposing loyalties within the gang warfare. Warrior is basically a kung fu western inspired by an idea originally developed by Bruce Lee. Although Lee faced rejection when pitching the concept, the show brings his vision to life, showcasing intense martial arts sequences and rich storytelling. The series not only entertains, but also highlights historical issues such as anti-Asian and anti-immigrant sentiments, drawing parallels to modern societal changes. The fight choreography, led by Brett Chan, is exceptional and emphasizes on wide shots and minimal cuts to showcase the actors' genuine martial arts talents. The cast delivers outstanding performances, with Koji embodying charisma and channeling Bruce Lee's energy. Joe Taslim plays Ah Sam's chief rival, Lee Yong, adding depth to the conflict. Olivia Cheng shines as Ah Toy, a brothel owner who empowers her workers and combats injustice. Women in Warrior are portrayed with dignity and complexity, engaging in significant storylines and action sequences. The show also thoughtfully includes queer characters, such as Ah Toy and Hong, played by Chen Tang, and addresses their identities with respect while integrating them meaningfully into the story. An intriguing stylistic choice in the series is how it handles language barriers. Chinese characters speak fluent English among themselves, but switch to accented English when interacting with white characters. This technique effectively conveys cultural dynamics and reduces the need for subtitles. The Legend of Bruce Lee. The Legend of Bruce Lee Volume 1 is a 2008 Chinese television series produced by CCTV and executively produced by Bruce Lee's daughter, Shannon Lee. Spanning 10 episodes in its first volume, the series tries to chronicle the early life of martial arts legend Bruce Lee, known in China as Li Xiaolong. Despite a substantial budget of several $1 million, the production quality feels dated, and the English dubbing is often distracting and poorly executed. The series shows a young Bruce Lee, played by Danny Chan, as he tries to deal with the challenges of growing up in Hong Kong during British rule. Attending a high school predominantly filled with British students, Bruce witnesses and experiences discrimination against Chinese students. Determined to prove the talent and competence of his people, he strives for excellence both academically and in extracurricular activity. He wins a cha-cha dance contest with his childhood friend Kin Shou Man, which draws the ire of his British schoolmate Blair Lewis, a talented boxer who looks down on Chinese students. After several confrontations where Bruce is defeated, he decides to learn boxing to level the playing field. Under the reluctant guidance of his uncle Xiao Ruhai and later Master Yi Wen, or Ip Man, Bruce hones his martial arts skills. He eventually defeats Blair in a boxing championship, leading to a newfound respect and friendship between them. Blair introduces Bruce to David Caffell, a 3-time boxing champion whom Bruce also defeats, further establishing his prowess. The series introduces the character of Wang Li Chao, a businessman and clandestine mob boss who becomes an adversary to Bruce. After Bruce interferes with Li Chao's criminal activities, Li Chao orders an attack on him. Bruce is severely injured in a motorcycle accident orchestrated by Li Chao's henchmen, prompting his parents to fear for his safety. Contrary to historical accounts that suggest Bruce was sent to America due to his own troublesome behavior and frequent street fights, the series depicts him as a victim of external circumstances. Bruce relocates to Seattle, where he works at a restaurant and attends the University of Washington, studying philosophy and continuing his martial arts training. In Seattle, he challenges and defeats Master Kimura, a local karate expert, who becomes his first student and a close friend. This marks the beginning of Bruce's journey as a martial arts instructor, blending his philosophy studies with his fighting techniques. While the series takes significant creative liberties, altering or omitting well-known facts about Bruce Lee's life, it offers a portrayal of his personal growth and quest for self-improvement. The acting can be over-dynamic at times, and some scenes, such as those involving blatant racism from school authorities, are particularly hard-hitting. Danny Chan captures some of Bruce Lee's signature moves and charisma, adding authenticity to the role.
I've been looking for you, Kai. You have the power of the monks. Their strength.
Wu Assassins. Wu Assassins revolves around Kai Jin, a young chef working in San Francisco's Chinatown. Kai becomes entangled in the Chinese triad's pursuit of ancient and deadly powers known as the Wu Xing. After a chance encounter with a mystical spirit, he reluctantly becomes the Wu Assassin, the 1000th and final one, endowed with the skills and strength of 1,000 monks who sacrificed themselves to infuse their essence into an amulet. With these newfound abilities, Kai sets out to reclaim supernatural powers from 5 modern-day criminals who threaten to destroy the world. An important aspect of the series is the cast's extensive background in martial arts. Byron Mann, who plays Uncle Six, began his training while preparing for his role as Ryu in the 1994 film Street Fighter. Celia Au, portraying Ying Ying, practices Tiger and Shaolin forms of Kung Fu under her Sifu, Tak Wah Ang. Catherine Winnick, cast as Christine Gavin, is a black belt in Taekwondo. Louis Tan, who plays Lu Shen Li, is both a martial artist and stunt performer. He started training with his father, a national champion in various martial arts styles. Behind the scenes, the production team also brings martial arts expertise. Director Stephen Fung began his career making wuxia and Tai Chi films in Hong Kong, contributing his deep understanding of martial arts cinema to the project. The series is further enhanced by an acclaimed stunt team, adding authenticity and excitement to the action sequences. The collaboration among the cast and crew, each with diverse martial arts backgrounds, allowed them to innovate and challenge themselves. This synergy resulted in unique and compelling fight scenes that set Wu Assassins apart. The actors and production team blended different styles and disciplines, creating a fresh take on martial arts storytelling. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Stephen Fung shared insights into this collaborative process. He noted that working with actors like Iko Uwais, a renowned action star from Southeast Asia, and Catherine Winnick, a Taekwondo black belt, introduced him to fighting styles different from traditional Hong Kong cinema. This experience pushed him to think creatively and step outside conventional filmmaking methods. Fung explained that Chinese martial arts films often prioritize aesthetics, focusing on visually pleasing choreography that resembles dance, enhanced by wirework. The fights are less about practical combat and more about expressive body language. In contrast, Iko Uwais's discipline of Silat is grounded and practical, featuring joint locks and realistic movements. Filming with Iko allowed Fung to adopt a grittier, handheld style, creating a raw and immersive experience for the audience. Black Dynamite, 2011 to 15. Black Dynamite, the animated series, is an impressive and unexpected adaptation of the cult blaxploitation film featuring Michael Jai White. At a recent panel, White, along with Carl Jones, Scott Sanders, and Kim Whiteley, introduced the upcoming cartoon and showcased the pilot episode. The show brilliantly captures the spirit of the 1970s blaxploitation era with its detailed animation, stylish character designs, and well-crafted musical numbers. The pilot opens with Black Dynamite seducing a woman from Moss's Fried Chicken to uncover a secret recipe. His mission is abruptly interrupted when a helicopter attack shatters his apartment windows. The assailant turns out to be a semi-friendly CIA agent seeking his assistance. The main antagonist is That Frog Curtis, a character reminiscent of H.R. Pufnstuf and Kermit the Frog, who intends to brainwash America's youth through his popular children's TV show to become a major crime lord. Joined by his sidekicks from the original movie, Black Dynamite employs kung fu and sharp wit to defeat Curtis. The episode is packed with rapid-fire jokes, balancing outrageous visual gags with clever wordplay. Highlights include absurd scenes like an 8-year-old Black Dynamite sporting a full mustache. The animation stands out for its uniqueness and high level of detail, giving the show a sleek and polished look. While the action sequences in the pilot lacked some tension and spatial clarity, improvements are anticipated in the full series. Initially 11 minutes, episodes have been expanded to 22 minutes to allow for deeper character development and more elaborate plots. That was all in this one. See you next time. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.